Shabbat Shalom, everyone. My name is Cantor Sarah Beck Berman, and behind the camera is Heather Dinkin, our Director of Operations, and over at the piano is Natan Berenstein, our Music Director. This evening's service will be in the prayer book, the Siddur, Mishkan Tefillah, which if you don't have your own copy, either a print or Kindle version, there is a free flip book available, and the link to that flip book is available in the email we sent out this afternoon, as well as on our calendar event for Shabbat services. During the service tonight, I will say things like please rise and please be seated. Please do whatever is comfortable for you in the environment that you're in. And also know that in our prayer book, many of the prayers are in a 2-page layout with the Hebrew in a translation of the Hebrew and a transliteration into English characters of the Hebrew on the right-hand side of the page. And on the left-hand side of the page, other alternate poems and prayers and readings along the same theme. Please feel free to flip around and use whichever are most meaningful for you, even as I announce the things that I'll be doing here from the Bima. And I think that's it. So without further ado, we begin our Shabbat service tonight with a nigun. A nigun is a wordless melody. This one, some of you may remember or recognize from some years ago when Nava Tehillah, the group from Jerusalem, came and led services here with us. Shabbat Shalom. And as we move from that everyday, regular old time into the special, sacred, kadosh Shabbat time, we light candles and we say a prayer over wine or grape juice, which is the symbol of our great joy and expression, I suppose, of our great joy that it's Shabbat. We begin by lighting candles on page 2 in our prayer books, page 2. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And as we turn to page 5 for Kiddush, I invite all of you to join me on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. And now that we have entered into Shabbat, we turn together to our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu, on page 28. And those of you who are comfortable, please rise. Baruch Hu as we turn on page 31 to our prayer for the evening, I will ask my customary question. What phase is the moon in? The answer is a waxing gibbous or gibbous moon, and it's getting very close to full. In fact, the full moon will be right around midnight tomorrow night, so midnight between Saturday and Sunday. The full moon marks the halfway point in every Jewish month. In this case, we're nearing the halfway point of the month of Tammuz. Tonight and tomorrow are the 12th of the Hebrew month of Tammuz. So as we're thinking about the moon and the stars and our calendar and how all of these things are interconnected with each other, let's read together the prayer for evening at the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Please turn to page 34 in our prayer book as we prepare to say the Shema. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God. Adonai is one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Echad. We continue with the Ve'ahavta on the following page, on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha. And it looks like we're live. Hello, everyone. Sorry about that brief interruption. Our service continues on page 40, with our Song of Freedom, Mi Chamocha. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Praise are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Amen. We continue on page 44, as we celebrate, keyword celebrate, Shabbat, with Vishamru at the top of the page. Vishamru, Vishamru, b'nei Yisrael, et HaShabbat, la'asut et HaShabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, עוד היא לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, עוד היא לעולם. ושמרו, ושמרו בני ישראל, את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, ושמרו, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. Yeah. We continue now with the central part of our service, the Tefillah, the Amidah, which begins on page 46. It continues across the next several pages, but we begin together on page 46, and with the congregation, please rise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, u'mevii geula livnei v'neihem, lema'an shemo be'ahava. Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah, Rav le'Hoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel Chaim bechesed, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. You may be seated. We turn to page 63. Page 63, and we read at the top of the page. Create a pure heart within me. Let my soul wake up in your light. Open me to your presence. Flood me with your Holy Spirit. Then I will stand and sing out the power of your forgiveness. I will teach your love to the lonely. The lost will find their way home. Adonai, open up my lips, and my mouth will declare your praise. We take a few moments for silent prayer and reflection, using either the words on the page or the words in your heart. As we join back together, I'd like to share with you a version of this prayer, Create a Pure Heart in Me, written again by our friends from Nava Tehillah. Create a pure heart in me, Great Spirit, create a pure heart in me. Create a pure heart in me, Great Spirit, create a pure heart in me, and renew a true soul within me, and renew a true soul within, and renew a true soul within me, and renew a true soul within. Create a pure heart in me, Great Spirit, create a pure heart in me. Create a pure heart in me, Great Spirit, create a pure heart in me, and renew a true we take this time to think of those who are in need of healing. As we turn to page 253, page 253 in our prayer books, I invite you to share in your heart or out loud the names of anyone for whom you would like to pray or hope for healing at this time. For all these people that we're thinking of, and also all those people that we'll remember a little bit later on that we meant to say the Mishaberach for, and for those people who have no one to say this Mishaberach for healing, we say together on page 253 our prayer for healing.
Source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu, mekor habracha. Those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Amen.
And now a few words about this week's Torah portion. For a number of weeks now, we have seen that since the dramatic exodus from Egypt, the people in God have fallen into a dysfunctional pattern of behavior. Some apparent hardship arises. The people immediately assume the worst and react in panicky and unhelpful ways. God gets angry with them, and often there are deadly consequences for the people. Wash, rinse, and repeat. This week's double portion of Chukat Balak has some of those same patterns. At the very end, for example, and only one example, some of the Israelites mix it up, if you will, with some Moabite women and worship a Moabite god. And we have plagues, deaths, we have offerings, and we have executions once again. There is an emphasis on God caring about rules, decorum, and offerings, perhaps more than entirely makes sense to us. Certainly, there are innumerable places in the Torah which detail specific offerings that the people and/or the priesthood should make to God. Offerings of animals acting as a way of atoning for mistakes, or as at the beginning of this week's portion, to regain ritual purity, the para aduma, the red heifer, or in some cases, acts of violence against those who have behaved wrongfully, which we see at the end of this week's portion when some people are executed for their involvement with the Moabite god, and we've seen in other places too, like after the golden calf incident. From our modern perspective, perhaps, we wonder, what is up with all these animal sacrifices anyway? Why would that be necessary to atone for wrongs and mistakes? How does making an offering or an act of violence help Joan Israelite to become a better person? We call our Tanakh, our Hebrew Bible, an Eitz Chaim, a living tree, which continues to grow and change with us, in no small part because of the different perspectives that we see from different biblical texts. So within the same Torah, within the same Tanakh, we see different perspectives and different answers to the same questions. The Haftarah portion for this week from Micah tells a different story about what it is that God wants from us. The images of sacrifices, of offerings, firstborn this, yearling that, perfectly red heifers, burning incense, Micah says these things are not enough. If we read our Torah with the mindset that each generation had their own communication style and their own spiritual needs, we can understand this as a progression of ideas which evolved through time as they came to us. In the ancient world, sacrifices and offerings had a certain prestige. They had a certain cachet for the people living in that time, which eventually stopped working for people, and so their behavior changed. Cultures and civilizations change. Their ideas about God changed. Their ideas about what it meant to be a fully realized human with a meaningful existence developed in new ways. In the words of many of the prophets, like Micah, we see another iteration, the emphasis on social justice, on a person's behavior as the real demonstration of their commitment to God and a moral way of life. Simply paying lip service to an ancient tradition and keeping up with the sacrifices was not enough. Micah says, "With what should I come to the eternal and bow down before God on high? Should I come before God with burnt offerings, with yearling calves? Would the eternal be pleased with thousands of rams, with 10,000 rivers of oil? Should I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit?" Hello, everyone. Sorry for the interruption. Let's take us back to Micah chapter 6. I was reading verses 6 through 8. "It has been told to you, O mortal, what is good, and what the eternal requires of you. Only this, to do justly, and love mercy, and walk humbly with your God."
Higid lecha Adam ma tov u'ma Adonai dorish mimecha ki masot mishpat ve'avat chesed ve'hatznei alechet im Elohecha.
That's verse 8. What does it mean? What does it mean today to do justly? To love mercy? What does it mean today to walk humbly with your God? How are our ideas about God different than they were in our parents' generations and our grandparents' generations and those before? Even the word God is so loaded with past baggage that for some people it will never ever work as a spiritual word or concept. And yet, words like justice, mercy, and humility, these are concepts we can all chew on and talk about without even referencing God at all. And yet, our cultural backgrounds, our families of origin, the beliefs and philosophies that we were trained into and that we entrained ourselves into throughout our lives, and all of those things affect what we mean when we say the word justice, the word mercy, when we envision what walking humbly means. Each of us should take the time to dive deep inside ourselves, to dig out all the things we believe to be true about this world and why we believe them to be true. Each of us should spend as much time as it takes questioning and wrestling with our own reactions to things. How do we respond to disagreement, to challenges, to hostility in others, to anger in others, to anger in ourselves? How do we respond when we see others suffering? What rises up within us? How do the feelings and beliefs that we have affect our ability to communicate with others who feel or believe differently than we do? Can we communicate with people who feel or believe differently than we do? I hope that in the coming week, each of us will take time to consider these important questions and any other similar important inner questions that rise up as we're doing this work. Amen. And Shabbat Shalom. We continue now in our prayer books on page 282, continuing on page 287, as the congregation rises for the Aleinu, beginning on page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכול, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו בהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים משתחווים ומונים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. We continue at this time on page 294 as we remember those who have come before us. Beth Ahabah remembers the recent passing of Earl Mark Ferguson, and we also mark the yard sites, the anniversaries of passing of Miriam Bowman Abrams, Nettie Blasberg, Rebecca Blumenreich, Robert O. Cohen, Aaron Copland, Bessie S. Dasher, Jack Epstein, Hans S. Falk, Hillard Friedman, Helen M. Gable, S. Lou Goldman, Edward Eli Goodman, Alexander Hirschberg, Arnold Arnie Eisenberg, Joe Jacobs, Alexander B. Jacobs, David Kamsky, Estelle W. Claus, Morris Levy, Harry Levy Sr., Anna W. Libanoff, Edward M. Lonsberg, Rose Lopater, Lena Mestel, Milton M. Meyer, Jr., Hyman Myers, Marie Picconi, Audrey Rhodes, Jacqueline G. Rosenblum, Miriam Shine, Rosalind Slusky, Melvin Snyder, Raymond I. Straws, Evelyn Cis W. Straws, Harry S. Tucker, William D. Tucker, Jr., Amelia Ullman, Dr. Harold Weidenfeld, Helen I. Weiner, Dr. Abram I. Witten, David S. Wiggins, and Nathan Wolf. If you are in Shiva, the 7-day period of mourning following a loved one's passing, or Shloshim, the 30-day period of mourning, or you're within the first year, if there's an anniversary of passing, a yahrzeit of someone that you wish to remember, or if there's simply someone whom you would like to remember at this time, I invite you to share their name in your heart, aloud, in the video chat, however you wish. We think of all of these people, and also all those people who have no one to say Kaddish for them. I invite all of those in a period of mourning, Shiva, Shloshim, to rise. I invite those observing a yahrzeit to rise. And as is our custom at Beth Ahabah, I invite all of us, a congregation wherever we are, to rise together in support of one another, as together we say on page 294, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam Ul'almei Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tush Bechata V'Nechem Ata Da'amiran Be'alma V'Imru Amen. Yehei Shalama Rabbah Min Shemaya V'Chayim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Yehi zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, and let us all say, amen. A few brief announcements. Virtual Torah study continues on Thursdays at noon. See the e-news or the website calendar for log-in details. Next Friday, join us here again for our Shabbat service at 6:15 p.m. And don't forget to join the Zoom pre-neg at 5:30, hosted by the Women of Beth Ahabah's Leadership Council. Watch the e-news for more information about resumption of in-person services on August 7th. Mark your calendars for a virtual Tisha B'Av service with me, which will be on Wednesday, July 29th, beginning at 7 p.m. It'll probably be about a 45-minute service, contemplative, candle-lit service, although it's BYO candles since it's a virtual service. School registration for religious school is open. See the e-news or click the Education tab on the website to register. And to register or find more information about any of these programs or other things, please check on the e-news or our website calendar. And now, before we conclude, a time for family blessings. So hold your families close, and that can be in the material world or in the mental world, mentally holding people close. And we offer the following blessings. Yisimech Elohim Kesara Rivka Rachel V'Leah. And Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. May God inspire you to live like Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, as well as Ephraim and Menashe, all of whom led forth our people in strength. And for all of us, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha. Shalom. May this week be a week of happiness and health and peace for all of us. Amen. And lest we forget our pets, Yisimcha Elohim ki Yehuda ha'aryeh. May God make our cats like the Lion of Judah. And Yisimcha Elohim ki Kalev ha'ne'eman. For our dogs, may God make you like Caleb, the faithful one. And I'm still waiting for good prayer ideas about lizards and fish and birds, so let me know if you have any ideas about that. Our service concludes on page 321. 321. I neglected to say at the beginning of the service, Happy July 4th weekend, but I'll say it now. Happy July 4th weekend, and in honor of that national holiday in America, on page 321, we'll sing Adon Olam to a tune that will be familiar, I think, to most of you. A few words about that tune. America the Beautiful was originally written by Catherine L. Bates in 1893 in a different form. It was not exactly the way that we know it now. It was about a trip she took through Colorado and Middle America. It was adapted in 1904 as America, a poem for July 4th, which is much closer to the version that we know. And then the version that we know was set to music, and the words were set up the way we're familiar, and published in 1910 as America the Beautiful. So without further ado, Adon Olam, number 697.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yetzir nivra, leit nasa v'chefetzo kol azay melech shemo nikra, ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora, ve'hu haya ve'hu hove ve'hu yeh v'tifaro, ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni להמשילו להכבירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי בעת צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, בידו אפקיד רוחי, בית אישן ועירה, ואם רוחי גוויעתי, אדוני לי ולא אירא. אדון עולם, אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לית נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא.
Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. May God bless us all with health and strength in the coming week. May God bless us all with peace. I hope everyone has a wonderful Shabbat, a wonderful July 4th weekend, and a wonderful week. Shabbat shalom.